So I'm standing here with Steve. Now, Steve, tell me again who you are with and where we're at right now.
Right now, William, we are at Tualatin Valley Water District's Water Efficient Demonstration Garden, and today I am representing the Regional Water Providers Consortium.
And the reason we're talking to Steve, y'all, is because as gardeners, we really want to use our water well, and you have some great information on how we can start doing that.
Yeah, today we want to talk a little bit about what we call smart controllers.
Yeah. And
smart controllers are basically irrigation controllers that use weather data to adjust the irrigation schedule.
So now, controlling water really isn't anything new, though, is it? We've been doing this for centuries, just in different ways.
It's not a new concept to apply water based on what the weather makes necessary. But our ability to do that efficiently and effectively hasn't always been so great. But there's been some new technology emerging over the last 10 years or so that has really helped make that a lot simpler.
So what I'm assuming some of this technology is here. Tell me about
it's what we call sensor-based irrigation, and those sensors can be either on-site sensors like these soil moisture sensor devices, or basically a simple weather station like this that measure the on-site conditions and basically use that to adjust the irrigation schedule. Or the other type is called a remote signal type system that actually uses a national network of weather stations or a local weather station to get the data and then use that to adjust the schedule.
So really all you're doing is basically, if you're using these two, you're gathering information. Now this one I'm assuming goes in the ground, but it's not for really just the general gardener. This is like landscape and stuff like that right now.
This is fairly advanced. You see these type of application more so in a commercial application. Okay. You can do it in a residential, certainly, but it might be a little more sophisticated than the typical homeowner's going to have.
But this one is anybody can use this.
Yeah, and we're starting to see a lot more of these types of systems go in the residential market. It's a simple weather station that gets solar radiation, rainfall, and temperature, and then uses those to come up with, again, a calculation of how much water we need to put back into the landscape.
And I'm assuming then that, and you said about an app, there's also, you can have apps now. So this has made a lot simpler for everybody because you can do it right from your phone.
Yeah, in the last year or so, we've seen a big advance in the technology in that some of these residential platforms are basically all the adjustment is done from your smart device.
Wow.
There's no longer any dials or a box to go out to in the garage to make your adjustment. Everything is programmed, adjusted. The feedback that you get on your system's operation comes through the smart device, and people seem to love it.
And the cost has not, it used to be very prohibitive for a lot of us to do this.
For a lot of
what's
folks.
happened recently?
Well, like a lot of things, you can still spend as much money as you want to on a fancy, sophisticated system. But also in the last couple of years, one of the great things that we're seeing is that the price point has come down to as low as around $150.
Wow.
So it's really become accessible to everybody now. And then when you couple with that, the rebates that are available to many folks in the area from their water providers, it just becomes a no-brainer.
Well, I was going to say, that's one of the big things here is you guys are, a lot of different places are actually offering those rebates now. So if you buy them, that can even help with your investment into using water wisely.
That's right. It really offsets the initial cost of that investment, and then you're just down there capturing the savings and becoming more efficient.
So, and the scheduling and maintenance requirements, and I wanted to make sure I remembered this. There's some specific things that you can do for information. Tell me about those.
Yeah, so the big thing about these controllers is they really rely on specific information about your site. So there are parameters that you enter in the initial programming for if you have any watering restrictions. Are there certain days where I don't want to water at all? That's one thing that you can put in there, and it will easily meet those requirements.
Yeah.
You want to put in the type of sprinklers that you have because different sprinklers have different rates of precipitation. And when you mix those up, it becomes very difficult to be very uniform. You put in the type of soil types you have because different soil types have very different capacities to hold on to water.
I like that you even have slopes. You can you put a slope on there, which makes a difference.
That's another parameter. So if you have a flat landscape, the way you apply water is going to be very different than if you have a sloped landscape. You want to break up into cycles. These controllers have the ability to do that very simply and somewhat automatically depending on how you put in these parameters. It takes a lot of the complication away from the
nice.
scheduling. You put in the basics, and then the controller really does
Does
the,
all the work for you.
complicated work.
Well, you know, it seems like a lot of information. It really isn't. As he said, you know, we've been doing this for centuries. This is just technology that will help us do it, and we're always concerned about using our water wisely. So for more information on this great tech, you can go to gardentime.tv, and we'll click you over to the websites. You'll get all that information there. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thanks, William.